guys, welcome back to April After Dark. I'm here again with Toby.
Suckered in again. I'm just kidding. I love talking about Dexter, so let's do it.
The last episode that we covered was last night, and it was episode 6, Cats and a Mouse, and then we were going to come back after watching the brand new episode that already was out, episode 7, which is called Course Correction.
Yeah.
And you kind of like the way it started?
Yeah, I mean, so we were talking about just the way it starts with that beautiful courtyard and that mansion and everything. And I was just saying to April, I just love the way that they film or they shoot these scenes are just so majestic looking. And, I really think it started we noticed it really with New Blood, just the amazing cinematography. That first scene in New Blood where you see Dexter, running after the white deer. I mean, the cinematography was just so outstanding and amazing. It just reminded me of that, how this opens up with that huge courtyard and just the colors are so vibrant and beautiful. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It just really struck me. I was like, man, we should really talk about that because the filming and the cinematography of this show has just, man, it's really just, it's always been cool. But I mean, definitely from New Blood into this, and even with, Original Sin, a lot of really just incredible cinematography. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. But yeah, we were talking about, before this, watching this, just, when are we going to find out about Al and, Rapunzel and what he does? And so, as we get into this scene, that's kind of what, we're kind of right into it, which is pretty cool. What did you think about Al and that whole thing and how that came to be?
Well, he did his show and tell, and I did not like it.
No.
That's kind of what I was thinking about recently, is that his name is Al Jolly, which I don't think is a mistake, but he's just this goofy, fun-loving, doting father dude, and I was like, so when are we going to see that? Anything about him? And then I kept thinking it's hard to imagine it now because he just seems so the opposite, so that just means the other side of him is just really sinister.
Yeah.
And it is that way. He basically has this, he's like, he's talking to Prader in this camera. He's like, this was a gift from the kids for Christmas, and he's putting it on his bike helmet, and he's like, safety first.
Which is so creepy.
Safety first.
Doing that whole dad thing where he's trying to figure out how to work.
He's looking, the camera's
he got it from his kids for Christmas, and he's trying to figure out how it works, and it's it is very bizarre and creepy, just the look on his face and just...
Well, and so he's there's a woman jogging, and of course, yeah, I just knew, the whole ponytail thing is obvious, but he basically, rides past her, to your left, and then she's like, oh yeah, thanks, and then he goes and he, pretends like he falls somewhere and, one of his wheels messes up, and I was thinking, this is awful.
Yeah.
This is, kind of like Ted Bundy.
Yeah, like Ted Bundy.
Doing something to make, or Silence of the Lambs, the woman that the Buffalo Bill kills that we see, he acts like he's injured and he needs help putting something in his van.
Yeah, playing off the feeling,
sympathy.
the sympathy of people, trying to help him and pretending like he's hurt. It's just such a sinister
then he gets her,
thing to do to somebody.
And he's strangling her or something, and he's laughing giddily, and that's what creeped me out.
Yeah, his laughing. It's so weird. It almost reminded me of what's the movie with what's the movie?
Long Legs.
Yeah, okay, so cut. So, yeah, the movie Long Legs, it just reminded me of, that sinister laugh that he has, a very, giddy sounding, just very...
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, just uncomfortable laugh. As he's killing this girl, as he's, and then he gets his scissors and he's
he goes, Pop says it's time for a haircut.
Yeah, just so...
I'm like, what does that mean,
and,
Pop?
And we see Dexter just over here just disgusted by this whole thing, sitting with these other people that are just getting off on it. And it's just, there you see a difference with Dexter and these other people. He doesn't get off on just killing, right? He's just a different...
the only thing I was going to say is I don't know what Gareth was... I don't know. I didn't get any reaction out of him. I don't know if he's
Yeah, he's just sitting in silence observing, kind of like he does, It's weird.
So I don't know, and obviously... that was weird, and we finally got it. So I was like, okay, we saw his whole, technique, ritual, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but another thing too is we don't know. I was saying this to April too. We don't really know the backstories on why these people do this. Like, we know small little details, but it definitely leaves it open for, like, I think I said this on the last video, I'd love to see, like, the backstory of the Gemini and how they turned into that. And,
well, yeah, that's the one I was the most curious about.
Yeah.
The only one we really know of is Lady Vengeance, because she said what her backstory was,
Right,
her origin
yeah.
story,
Yeah,
and then
that
it
is-
turned out she just didn't stick with that. She just enjoys killing people.
Yeah.
Innocent people. So.
Yeah, that is true. But it's just like, I wonder what that is about his mother and
why? Who's Pop Pop? And
yeah.
why is he telling you to get it? I don't know, the haircut thing. I don't know. That did remind me a little bit of Trinity, though, which I think it's meant to kind of remind us of Trinity as the family man.
Yeah.
Who's got a thriving family, but he's also got this weird, sick, disgusting side of him. Because there was stuff back in season 4 of Trinity doing things, and like, I don't know. He was saying weird stuff when he was doing it. Like,
yeah,
I was
he'd
like,
go
what?
into this other mode or something,
Yeah.
where he's like, Vera, and he was talking to his daughter, right, on
Vera,
Thanksgiving.
get upstairs.
Yeah, and his
And
son.
it's like, Jonah says, she's not fucking Vera.
Yeah,
Quit
yeah.
calling her that.
Yeah, he'd go into this mode where almost a trance or something, right?
Oh, and he did something else, like when, I don't know, I can't remember all of it, but he was pretty horrific anyway. But some of his stuff that he would do when he was killing a man, he was saying weird stuff like, You bastard, you made me do this. You made me do. I was like,
yeah, yeah. So
weird. So it made me think of that, like, who's Pop Pop, and he's also the family man, and then we also learned that he's, well, I guess it doesn't really, I mean, this isn't in sequential order, but the other thing I had written that I thought was important about Rapunzel was that there's, later on there's blood somewhere, and he's really grossed out by it. He was, that's a lot of blood. That's why I strangle.
Yeah.
That's too much blood. I need to go back to Wisconsin. I was like, of course he's from Wisconsin. He fits that whole, like, BTK type killer thing, like, from the Midwest with a family and nice with glasses and sweet and has all these kids. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know his backstory. But, the next thing is when we see Dexter now, Prader tells him that he wants him to do show and tell. And it is funny, too, in that we see Dexter also, he gets rid of the whole vegan thing because they had the spread. Prader's got this spread, and he's like,
well, it's because Gareth is sitting there picking a piece of meat up, and he's like this, and I think Dexter's looking at it,
Yeah.
and then Prader's like, is there a problem?
Yeah.
Like, I just, with all this, I see that, and it looks so good, and I forget what it was like to eat meat before. And he goes, well, you go ahead, you can go ahead and indulge here.
Yeah.
And he's just,
Yeah.
and he does. I'm like, I knew he wasn't going to be able to do this for much longer.
Yeah, and then he
loves meat.
He gets that text from Harrison asking him to meet him about the school and stuff, and then Prader is like,
you're hiding something from me.
Yeah, and that's what that whole thing was about. And then he tells him, he wants to see his work.
Trophies and his thing.
Yeah, his presentation and stuff. So then it's just hilarious. Dexter's in the room, like, going through this whole thing where he's being fake. And he's not being,
he like gets that
Yeah.
Geely saw. That's what it's called. I can't figure out the name, but he gets his Geely saw. He's like, have you ever asked or seen what a man looks like begging for his life while he's bleeding through his neck or something?
Yeah, he's trying to go through these things that he's thinking he's going to say to try to convince them that.
Which really, to me, it was really showcasing Michael C. Hall's
acting.
acting.
Yeah. Because he's just being fake, and it's just really funny. But Charlie comes in and asks if there was a problem because he was talking with Harry again, and that whole scene that happened. But
and he did. Okay, so he says something to Harry, which this is going to bring you back to original sin.
Yeah.
He says something to Ghost Harry or whatever, Imagination Harry. He's like, you turned he's like, don't fake this presentation. You're not like them, and so don't pretend like you are. And that's why, yeah. So, but he's like, well, you turned your back on me, killing yourself. And then I was thinking, do we know that he killed himself completely? Because original sin has me wondering about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we have a whole theory about that. So, maybe we should do some videos on original sin and talk about that then. Because I think that's we talked about this morning. But
stay on the lookout for that video. But yeah, there's a theory that we have on that, and that Harry may not have actually done that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's don't give it away yet.
Yeah. Right.
We got to leave him hanging. No, but so Dexter decides to go in and be his authentic self, and does his presentation in a way where he's actually he's
being honest.
He's being honest about why he does it, his own thing for the real, but they don't know. That he's talking as Dexter, but he does it in a way. But the interesting thing about it is in the middle of it, his sincerity, and it's so gripping. And you see Charlie walk into the room because I think she hates hearing all this stuff, but I think she was overhearing Dexter, and the way he was talking, I think it intrigued her and made her want to come in and listen. And so
I can come listen to this.
Yeah, she walks into the room and everything, and he goes through his whole thing, and he's kind of calling both of them out. He's kind of calling the Gemini killer out, or Gareth out, and Al too, talking about his family, making him feel all squirmy and stuff. I thought that was hilarious.
Like the truth is, if your family knew who this other side of you, and if the mask really fell, they would the doting father, great, all this stuff would be gone.
Yeah, and I think
they might even turn you in.
Yeah, and it's just a testament to everyone's acting ability in this show. I mean, I know everybody's great actors, but when you see just the squirming and you just see it's making him so uncomfortable to think about his family actually knowing the truth of what he does, and it's how disgusting it is, and Dexter is so good at like pinpointing it. And what does he say about Gareth?
Well, this is something Gareth still doesn't have much of a reaction. The only thing of note that I was going to say, and this doesn't really matter, but like I said in my last video, I think that twin number 2 is the one that's alive. I think number 1 was killed first, and I think that because he says something to him about, but what is it that you, Gareth, that you call it the great yearning? And Gareth looks kind of like, like he doesn't remember that. And I was thinking that's because he wasn't at that first dinner. That's why.
See, I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch that again because I don't know about that.
In the end, I've been holding on to that, but I'm like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter which twin
they're both
died.
Well, yeah, we're about to get to that too, because.
But the person's face that I can't read is Leon Prader's face. I couldn't tell if he was disappointed by the thing, by the presentation, or what he was thinking.
I mean, that's the whole thing about Prader too, is that we just don't know anything about the guy. There's little things that we know, but we don't know what the truth is behind what he knows. And I'm still sticking with my idea that from the beginning, that he either knows that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher or suspects that, and he knows that he's not Red. I still think that might be revealed later, but one thing about Prader is I still think most mysterious person in the whole cast is Prader. We just don't know anything about him and what he truly knows. We know he has ties to FBI and all these things. So what does he really know? What's really going on there? I don't think that he's the Ripper. New York Ripper. I don't think I hear all these things and I'm like, dude, this is not. I don't think he's a killer. I think that he's got a thing, but I don't think that he's the. I just don't think he's the Ripper.
No, I've never thought that. I haven't I actually wrote on there. I have never once. I mean, I don't think, nor have I ever thought that Leon Prader is the New York Ripper. I just don't believe it.
No.
I mean, and then like I said, the other ridiculous theory was that Blessing Kamara is the New York Ripper.
Yeah, it's just people are just. I mean, I was joking. I was like, maybe it was the first cab driver that I mean, people are just picking out any characters that are in the show, and maybe that guy walking on 6th Street is the Ripper because he looked at the cab. I don't know. It's just people are just trying to pick out anybody that could be anything, and it's just it's overdone. I think is what it is. But
well, and I think one of the theories, and I was like, why would y'all think that? And it's because he's into gut health, and it's...
Oh, Prader?
No.
Oh, no.
Joy.
Joy's husband.
Her fiance.
Yeah.
I don't... Sam, I guess is his name. People are like, it's Sam. It sounds like him. And they're like, he's really... Because he gives, like, Harrison a drink that he made. Like, not a drink, but a drink for gut health. And it packs a punch.
People are saying that.
So I was like, oh, because, well... we see that the New York Ripper basically disembowels... Yeah. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah.
We'll get there because we have our whole spiel about that. I think that was probably my favorite part of the entire episode was the New York Ripper stuff.
So at the end of that scene, do they go to Harrison, like, standing outside?
No. We're still at the party.
So they're sitting at the table afterwards, right?
Yeah, and Prader wants to talk, or I keep wanting to say
Well, so it's Gareth and Al and Dexter sitting at the table, right? Talking, and Gareth is kind of like...
Your speech was different.
Yeah,
about your kills or anything.
Yeah, he's questioning Dexter.
Prader's all about the details.
Yeah. Yeah. And
then
Al's like, I liked it.
I thought it was great. You know.
Yeah. It's funny. And Dexter's like, thank you, Al. It's just a funny scene.
Well, he caught a few times that, I guess, whatever, I don't know what Gareth was saying, but I didn't notice it, but that Al was like...
Yeah, whenever Gareth talks, and Al's done it a couple times in different scenes when Gareth is talking about how great he is, and his whole narcissistic stuff, and you just catch Al just kind of like rolling his eyes like, oh God, this guy is so full of himself.
you know what I mean? I think I've figured that out, is that no matter which twin went first, they're both narcissistic. You just got to get them going.
Yeah. It's definitely, man. So then, we see Charlie come up and tell Dexter that Prader wants to see him. And so I think Dexter is like, oh, gosh.
Well, and it looks ominous because he's just standing in the middle of this, walkway outside, just standing there with, I guess, the sorcery binder that was Red's.
That had all the licenses in it.
It's, so prolific in such a short time.
Yeah. And Dexter says, I was in a hurry. So they go sit down, and Prader tells him kind of his backstory with the dude that killed his parents and how he met him and all of these things.
It's interesting. He was so hurt. I mean, obviously, he's bothered by this man that, drunkenly ran into the car that he was in, and said something about I wanted him to know my pain that I felt.
Yeah, so he wrote him a letter, right?
Pen pals with him, and he said the guy
responded. He goes, he wrote back.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was basically like, I know that you feel that way, and I don't feel anything about that.
Yeah, or basically like everyone feels suffering. Everyone suffers.
Yeah, and
or something like that,
and this whole time he's because Dexter's answering, but he's saying that because he can't feel those things. Yeah. He doesn't know how to feel those things.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I would really like a therapy session by him because
Dexter.
He really seems to. The way he talks to Harrison lately, and the way he talks to other people, like Prudence, even Blessing's mother, he's pretty good at helping you.
He understands that
almost
the dark thoughts
in a weird way. It's
the darkness that people are concerned with that they can't figure out, and he's good at explaining those dark thoughts and why people feel the way, because that's what he's felt his whole life.
Well,
so it's just
and with this whole conversation, it's a little strange because it kind of shows you the maybe the way that Prader got into being obsessed and wanting to know about serial killers and collecting all these things, collecting the serial killers, is because he formed a relationship with this person.
Yeah, he pulls out the letter and shows Dexter and says, "This is my first trophy.
It's my handle it with care.
Handle it with care. It's my
old letter."
Yeah, and it's what he wrote to, or it's what the killer wrote back to him when he wrote him that first time, and it's his first trophy from that killer, and that's what made him start wanting to understand, these killers and collect these trophies. Is kind of what, and that why he appreciated Dexter's presentation so much, right?
I feel very connected to it. I feel like I understand you in a way I never have before, kind of thing.
Yeah, so Dexter's feeling like they're creating a bond, and Dexter's like, oh, I feel that way too, kind of. I don't know, in his own way, he was kind of.
But I do have to say this: I can't ever read Leon Prader. I've said that several times now.
Yeah.
I didn't mention this last time, but it was more about the Gemini thing. So back in the other episode, Cats and a Mouse, whenever Gareth number 2 is at Gareth number 1 is at I don't know which one it is at the apartment with Dexter, he says something about that Prader pays him double for his before photos. He's like, the photos of my victims when they know they're about to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is really disturbing. I mean, that's disturbing.
Yeah, that is. He pays him double. And then you almost question, does he know that it was twins?
Well,
I think these little things are in there to kind of make you question those things.
Comes up, at this dinner, so was there anything else we need to talk about with the exchange between the two of them?
No, I don't think so. I think then it kind of goes to where you see Dexter seeing
Gareth by
himself, and he's going to go talk to him. And you're going, I wonder what's about to happen. You know what I mean? But like I said, I will say that at this point, if we're going to talk about that's what I accidentally saw yesterday. And if you watch the last video, that is what I accidentally saw on the damn internet yesterday, was that Dexter kills, the other twin in this exchange, and it was a very quick thing, but it was enough to where I went, he killed. Like I was just like thinking that Gareth was going to go on.
I did too.
Probably another episode or two. Like I thought that I didn't realize until I saw, and of course I didn't tell her this, but still, even when it got to the scene, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome." Exchange, and it pretty much was.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to be like the big bad, and I was wrong about that because he's not.
Yeah,
he just isn't.
Dexter goes up and sits down next to him,
He's
and
like, "I know your secret."
I know your secret, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
He's just gonna start saying
just right into it.
But of course he says like, "I know you're a twin," and then of course he's like, "That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard."
Yeah, he tries to deny it at first, and then Dexter just keeps prodding him, which is hilarious, you know.
He's getting him riled up to tell him something really messed up, but he's like, "I'm just so impressed by you.
Yeah,
I'm a fan, you know."
Yeah,
he's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and he's like, I forgot what he said. Something about. He's like, how have you been able to do this? He's like, well, we have a very specific way of communicating with each other.
Yeah.
And he also said, I can't really get into some of this. He was being very aloof, which I expect him to be anyway. But
right.
He's like, oh, like leaving notes in libraries?
Yeah. And that's when it catches his... He's just like, oh, shit.
Well, you're the first one that has ever figured this out.
Yeah. And he's like, I followed you.
I'm just so impressed by your, whatever he was saying. And then he says something like, so. And because I was sitting there like,
do twins?
Why are you teeing this up like this?
Yeah.
So, is that true about twins feeling when something's wrong with the other one?
Yeah. And he kind of scoffs a little, right?
Like, huh? Like, what are you getting at?
Yeah.
He's like, did you...
Around 8:30 last night.
Did you feel a sharp pain in your chest?
Yeah.
Why?
He says, why? He's like, because that's when I killed your brother. And dude, the look on Dismulchin is such an incredible actor. The look on his face is just terror.
The realization
of him killing him, and then Dexter just goes off,
Well,
or did you feel it when he was? Did you feel a burn
when I was burning him
in the incinerator? I mean, man, it just and then
you almost feel like I don't know. This sounds really
feel bad,
twisted.
right?
I almost felt a little bad for him.
I know there is a weird. It's a weird, feel bad because they were just separated. They probably, I don't know, we have this thing where maybe they had a thing where they wanted to die together.
I think they do. That's why the other one was like, with the, no.
Yeah, like because his brother wasn't there.
Yeah, because you're like, well, he's about to die. And I'm like, no, but no one else cries like that. Not really.
Yeah, so you do feel kind of bad for him in that moment, but at the same time you realize, well, he is killing people, for sport. So then he breaks the wine glass.
He wants to, you killed my brother, he wants to...
avenge.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he just caught him in a really crazy moment and he gets enraged, which I understand why he's getting enraged.
Yeah, he breaks that wine and he goes after Dexter and cuts his arm, and then Dexter gets him, and then you can see in the background Prader and Charlie, and they're like, what is going on?
Al.
And then you see them going after each other, and then Dexter is just Dexter. He's just...
Well, he gets it right here.
At the jugular.
He's like, you killed my brother. He's like... And he keeps him... And he's like, help!
Yeah, he's yelling for help! He's yelling for help while he's grabbing a piece of the glass so that he can get blood on it, and keep it in his pocket for later as he sticks it into his jugular and finishes him off. And then gets off of him, they all come up.
They all run, and then Charlie has her gun at him, and then Leon's like, what? Why was he attacking you?
Yeah.
What happened?
And then Dexter just does what Dexter does. Off the cuff, comes up with a brilliant, reason as to why this whole thing happened.
Talked about how, we were amateurs compared to him, and his grand thing was going to be to kill Lowell, Al, and me.
Yeah, and then Al, I knew there was something weird about that guy.
Yeah, not that y'all are all serial killers.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something weird about him.
And that's what he was talking about. Oh, no.
There's too much blood. Too much blood. That's why I strangle.
Yeah, that's why I strangle. I'm going to go back to Wisconsin.
He's very bothered by this entire thing.
But the thing that's interesting about this is Charlie, you can tell she is very, suspicious of Dexter.
Well,
even while but Prader is so... accepting of this whole thing. I had a feeling this might happen.
It's probably my fault.
Right.
I encouraged these grand delusions of his.
Yeah.
And I made him think that he was...
But yeah, and he says this, and which I have to say, we talk about a lot about this, obviously when we're not doing this, but I have to say that, Prader is so accepting of that, it's almost strange. it's like he's not questioning it at all. He's immediately like,
defense.
oh, he must have done something wrong.
It's probably my fault.
It's probably he doesn't question Dexter at all, which I gotta say again, it takes me back to he knows. And maybe this whole thing is just him observing Dexter and how he's going to handle himself in all of these scenarios. Because he knows who he is, and he is just seeing what it is that he does to deal with these situations, and is just so impressed by it that's why the way he reacted to Dexter's presentation. I mean, Gareth did say, he's all about details. He wants to see what you do.
Mia said the same thing.
And Mia said the same thing, and he was questioning Dexter like, it's weird that you didn't do that. And then Prader turns up loving it, and that's weird, kind of, that he didn't even ask him to see what he does to people.
Like, you didn't show me.
You didn't show me anything, but he doesn't question that at all. It makes me wonder if this whole thing is just an experiment. He's watching Dexter to see how Dexter's going to react. Now, this is all just I could be wrong about all this.
We're theorizing. This is something he's theorized about from the very beginning.
We've talked about it a lot, but these things are just so like, why wouldn't he at least go, I mean, what did he say? What did you say? He's not doing that at all. He's just like, oh, well, he's dead.
Well, and the only one that seems suspicious is Charlie. She's kind of like, that's a little weird because he's always killed in pairs. Why would he suddenly abandon what he's always done?
Yeah. And then Dexter
here with a wine glass.
Yeah. And then Charlie, Prader's like, Charlie will
put that gun down.
Put that gun down, and Charlie will bandage you up, and she'll take care of this and everything. And then we see Dexter walking back, and what does he say? He says something that is, like he got basically, he took care of that takes care of the whole Lowell situation.
Yeah, kill 3 birds with one stone.
Yeah, kill 3 birds with one stone.
Which I don't like. I don't like these terms with animals.
Well,
I don't know. I'm a weirdo.
On these shows,
I'm weird. Yeah. I don't like it in general.
You're not weird, babe. You just love animals. It's okay.
I don't like when my boss says it either. I'm like, why do we have to say 3 birds? Why you said? Because I imagine like 3 birds. I don't know.
Yeah, she's
like
thinking of it like realistically, like actual birds, but not figuratively. But
kicking a dead horse. I don't like that either. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah. It's just an old saying.
I know it's all old sayings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just a
the thing is,
softy with animals.
She is a big softy with animals. It's true. So we see Charlie, bandaging him up until they're having their conversation. And one thing that struck me during this conversation was, what if Charlie and Dexter ended up getting into a relationship? You know what I mean? Like, I could kind of see it.
Or what if they help each other with something?
As Charlie kind of figures out that Dexter is who he is, maybe that's something that she relates to. That maybe she's doing what she's doing for purposes that are morally.
She did kill the Canton Clubber. That happened.
Yeah, she killed a guy. And
also she orchestrated
he was a serial killer.
2 different murders that we know of.
Yeah.
Mia, and there was the person that Mia talked about to Dexter.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna. I don't know. There was a little thing where I was going, are they gonna end up in a thing? Once they kind of get to know each other, I know
they're gonna help each other.
I think it'd be cool if they did eventually.
I think it'd be cool
because I think it'd be cool to see that interplay, between those characters.
So, I agree completely with that.
Yeah. So what do we do now? We go to Harrison, going to school, going to check out the school.
This Collins
and
criminology college.
Yeah, which is hilarious because I did, when we talk through all these things, we come up with all kinds of theories. And I did say, when this happened was when Dexter and Harrison were in the restaurant after he confronted met the renter for Elsa, right? Is that her name, Elsa?
Yeah.
Elsa. So the whole thing with Harrison going into law enforcement, what made me, I actually kind of thought that before we ever found this out, because in the scene where he's, after the whole confrontation with Elsa's landlord about the black mold in the closet, and him not doing anything, and then him stabbing him in the eye or not stabbing,
he imagined it.
He sees Dexter in the restaurant, he tells him all about this, and Dexter's telling him, you're not like me, you've got good in you. You know who you're like is your Aunt Deb. And right then I was like, a hot temper, but you have a moral compass kind of thing. And right then I was like, what if Harrison went into law enforcement?
I was like, I could see that.
And then, we talked about it and everything. So when he's there doing this, I was like, he's thinking about becoming a cop, which I think is really cool. I think it could be a good thing for him to do that. because he can channel those feelings in a positive way.
Wanting to do justice.
To do justice, but not doing it the way Dexter does it, because he's not like that, even though he has it in him to do it, but to actually channel it in a way that's more positive, and he's not just out killing people like his dad does,
Right.
So we see him going into this college, and he's asking Dexter, where is he? Where are you? Because he's not there or whatever.
Are you coming?
Are you coming? And everything. And I know we talked about this later, but I was sitting there going, please don't ditch him on this Dexter. Because you know how he did that with like Deb so many times because he was out murdering people or whatever he was doing.
This is like the one time, like one of the times he could show up for him. So
yeah.
it's just
we both were like, please show up for him, and he goes in and he meets this girl, right?
Some girl is like flirting with him.
And she's a sophomore at the campus, and she's like the guide there that day to show them where they're going and all that stuff.
Doing the tour of college and all that, and then
yeah,
it's like, okay, so now y'all get to go audit
what is she doing? She's doing
a lecture.
A lecture, yeah.
On a true crime thing.
Yeah.
Harrison goes in there, and he looks down, and it's freaking Detective Wallace. And she did say before to Oliva, like, I'm going to be doing a lecture the next few weeks. And he's like, on what?
Yeah.
This is when he had just got done telling her, hey, I've seen you fixate on cases before.
Yeah.
The New York Ripper, it almost cost you your job.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, I'm doing a lecture series in a few weeks. He goes, on what? The New York Ripper?
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny in its own way.
But here she is, right?
Yeah, and then Harrison looks, and I think there's people behind him, and
she looks, and she sees him, and he sees her.
There's a tension there, but I think he
tried to leave.
I think he was about to leave, and then he couldn't leave.
But there was people behind him, and the girl kind of stopped him and went, no, go into the room.
Yeah.
And he goes in there. He's just feeling like trapped. Like, oh, no.
Well, then she starts it. And she starts it about like a murder. I'm talking. There's a case that I work or something. I don't know. And I think he looks scared, like he's about to.
She's about to talk about the case that just happened.
Ryan
Foster thing, and he's gonna sit there and listen to it. But she goes into the Ripper thing,
the New York
right?
Ripper, yeah. And then this gets very interesting. Yes, I have my phone here. Okay, so she so then. A few minutes later, Dexter comes in there with the girl that was the tour
guide. She found him in the lobby and brought him in.
She's like, if I see anybody with lost dad energy, I'll flag him down.
Yeah.
And he came in there, and then Wallace sees him.
Yeah, she sees him, and then she looks at Harrison, and it's just
but
like
she paused in the middle of her lecture. I think she realized I can't do that. I need to keep talking.
Yeah. And so Dexter comes down and sits next to Harrison, and he's like, "Did you know that?" And he was like, "Nope." He's like, "Oh," which is a really funny exchange.
He didn't even finish like the sentence. He just knew what he was asking.
Yeah. So then
is that the same? Yes. He's like, "Did you know?" No.
Yeah, exactly. That. It was really funny. And then she keeps on talking about the Ripper, and we start finding out things about the Ripper.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
and then,
I knew was going to be a way bigger. I mean, okay, so there's a lot of. We already talked about some of the ridiculous theories, and I think those are done with. I mean, I think they are.
Yeah.
But
there's two things that we think, right?
Right. So it's either going to be like they're showing this. Showing us all this New York Ripper stuff for a reason. The Prader has it in his vault. I'll link the vault down below, like I did a couple episodes ago. And he's like highly prolific, never been caught. And then Wallace being obsessed with it. She's got her pin board with New York Ripper stuff all over it, articles.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing.
Photos.
We know it's going to be a thing.
Now she's doing the lecture on it, and Dexter and Harrison are hearing the entire thing, and she's like, he hasn't killed in years, but he is still out there tormenting the families of the victims that he has murdered.
Yeah.
And she says like the killer is still out for the hunt. Serial killers do this because they want the thrill of the hunt. So to get that feeling that he has back again, he calls and just says depraved things about what actually happened, like really awful things. And prior to this, there was a crazy theory that we watched, that was about...
who is it that had the...
Cody Leach.
Yeah, Cody Leach was the first
person that I actually saw that had this theory.
Yeah.
And then people started coming up with it, and I was like, well, that's where I first heard it, and when I first heard it there, I had never heard it anywhere else. Everybody else was having all these other theories.
Yep.
So anyway, he had said he had just recently watched season 6 of Dexter, and Jonah Mitchell is Trinity Killer Arthur Mitchell's son.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing, like, it's season 6, episode 7. It's entitled Nebraska.
Yeah.
And it's Dexter going to find him because there's stuff in the news about Trinity has struck again, and he's like, that can't have happened. I killed him.
Yeah,
like,
he's dead. He's dead.
and it's basically the mother and the daughter are dead.
Yeah.
So he's thinking maybe he.
Yeah, he goes to confront Jonah, and when he walks into a hardware store, he sees Jonah, who works there, and he's got
that hook. A shorter version. Doing like
and he's
this.
doing a swiping thing, and he's showing it to a customer, and you see it. He does it a couple times as Dexter's walking up to him, and then you just see Dexter or Jonah look up at Dexter, and then they have that meeting, and he's like, "Hello, Dexter Morgan,"
which is what his dad said.
Yeah,
and
which
he
is
doesn't
what his
even
dad
know
said.
that.
Yeah, and so when we thought about this, we heard this, we have been talking about it ever since because it makes way more sense to us than any of the. I don't think it's Prader. It's not Blessing. It's not the cab driver. It's not Blessing's wife. That's going to be the Ripper. It's going to be something incredible. It's either going to be. We think it's either going to be Jonah, and there's a lot of stuff that goes along with this that makes it that way. Or April even brought up it's.
We don't know who it is yet.
Right.
And it's going to come into play in season 2. They're setting it up for that because we only have like 3 episodes left. They're not going to just squeeze all this in here.
Yeah.
They're going to play this out, and maybe we get the reveal at the end in the finale, or we just don't know. We won't know. Maybe we've never met this person. It's very possible it's a stranger that we don't even know.
Yeah, the Jonah thing is so interesting though because it would be really cool because Dexter doesn't kill him in that he could have killed him, and Brian, his brother Brian Moser, is basically trying to get him to kill him.
The ghost version of Brian.
And he won't do it. And then the last thing we see in that is Dexter is driving off, and Jonah comes running out, and he's like, "What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live like this?" And Dexter's just like, "Forgive yourself."
Well, and the whole thing that we figured out was that he didn't kill his sister. His sister died in the tub.
Suicide.
Almost like
she killed herself.
Trinity's victims did, but he killed his mother. He did kill his mother after he knew his sister had offed herself because he just was, because of the way his mother would talking to them, like, y'all are the reason that
she was
Arthur
still in love with him.
Come back, yeah,
and she was saw the abuse and never tried to stop it. So I think he just raged and killed her and everything. But now all these years
with a hockey stick in that episode, but he had that hook, and then he also tried to kill Dexter with it.
Yeah, he tried to kill Dexter with that hook.
He comes at him with the hook, and I was thinking,
I
don't know. It's like the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's like the hook thing. That's the only thing I've ever seen that weapon ever used.
Yeah. So we see. So we're in the scene with Wallace, who's talking about the Ripper. She plays.
Oh, I have.
You have it, right?
Yes.
She plays one of the the phone calls that he placed to the sister of the victim, a girl, her sister, who he killed, and she plays it, and it's.
I don't know. Like, okay, so we were thinking, okay, well, when you hear the voice, you're like, okay, I know it's not
Prader.
It's not Blessing.
It's not Blessing for sure.
People have said, oh, it's a voice box. I'm like, it doesn't sound like that. It's not like Ghostface. You can tell that's a voice,
Yeah.
So anyway.
She didn't have anywhere to go in that shitty little house of hers. All she could do was cower in her own bed, your sweet little sister. Hiding under that flimsy quilt. That was a gift from Grandma, huh? That's why I took it off her before I ripped her open. Wouldn't want to get blood all over Grandma's quilt. Man, you should have heard your sister begging me to just kill her. Incredible how long a girl as small as her could stay alive while I took her organs out one by one.
So the interesting thing about that is, I think that sounds like Jonah.
Okay, and the actor has got wind of people are like,
yeah. What's his name?
Brando Eaton.
Brando Eaton. That's right.
Can't let me find it.
People have been hitting him up like, dude, what's going on with this? So he made either a TikTok or of him talking.
Let me find it. Because if you think about whenever that was filmed, it's been a while now, so he's older. So his voice, because when I watched season 6 again, I was like, oh, he has that younger voice there. His voice has deepened because he's older.
Yeah.
What's everyone yelling at me about? I just got back from New York. What's everyone yelling
that voice, that's a very boomy, deep voice. It sounds like that voice to me. Now, I mean, we could be wrong about this.
The way he says, I don't know, some of the, it's like, I don't know what you call it, the cadence of his voice, like the way he says certain terms.
Yeah.
It sounds, I don't know. I mean, we could be completely wrong.
Let's get into this Jonah thing a little bit. So when we're back with Wallace, after she's done with the presentation, you see Dexter and Harrison talking, and Dexter's basically like, look, all the stuff she was saying about serial killers, psychopaths, and how they don't have feelings. He's like, no matter what, I know for sure that I feel something for you that I've never felt for anyone else. And he's basically reassuring Harrison that he is his number one person.
Because during the lecture, she's like talking about psychopaths or whatever, don't feel, they lack feeling of empathy. They have no feeling. And his eyes are going like.
Yeah, Harrison's like looking at Dexter like. He's
side-eyeing him a little bit.
Yeah, so they have this cool interaction, and they get up to leave, and here comes Wallace. Wait a minute, Mr. Morgan. And so they turn around,
Mr. Morgan.
and also Mr. Morgan, and Dexter's like, that's some good detective work. Which is hilarious.
It is funny.
So they talk, funny. But it's Dexter does his whole thing where he figures out that Batista talked to her.
Your old call. Oh, you're following. Oh, because Harrison says, I'm surprised to see you, Harry.
Yeah.
Well, I think this might be surprising to you, but I want to be a cop.
Yeah, and he was inspired by her and the way that she was defending the victims of the guy that he killed, basically. Yeah. And then she said, so you're going to following in your father's footsteps. And Dexter's like, how did you know that, or something like that?
Oh no, she goes, your old colleague Angel Batista has visited me.
Yeah, and he's like, Angel. And then Dexter does
such a good guy.
Yeah, he does what Dexter does. He just starts going off on this story about how after James Dokes was found out to be
his partner was found out. Yeah, you've heard of him, right?
Yeah, and he's going, and you look. It's just, I was saying this to April earlier. Harrison's just looking at him like. I'm thinking he's just amazed that Dexter can just come up with these stories off the cuff.
Because Harrison can't do that,
and make it sound so real. And they get to this whole thing, and they talk about it, and all that stuff. And they go to turn to walk off, and Dexter's like, oh, by the way.
Your crowbar theory is interesting.
Yeah.
But the way the blood spatter is up this way, it's something longer. And
with a hook. Maybe with a handle.
And he does that.
And he does this, and she goes... Wallace just kind of backs up.
Almost like he's going to hit her with a
Yeah, and then he does it again, and she does it again. But she's intrigued by what he's saying because...
She's never been able to figure this out.
She hasn't thought of this.
And she also had said in her presentation that I have been working on this since I joined the Force.
Yeah.
So she's been on this for ever since she's got in there.
And we don't know how long she's been on the Force. Could be 5 years, could be 10 years. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But anyway, so he just kind of goes, okay, well, thanks, thanks for the presentation, or and then they leave.
Thanks for your show and tell.
Yeah, thanks for your show and tell. And then they leave, But I loved that scene because it was like a harken back to the Dexter we know and love from the blood spatter, because he did that at every scene.
Yes.
And he already knows, but he's giving her a clue. He's helping her right now. And I was telling April, I was like, wouldn't it be incredible if somehow he's able to pull it off to where people don't think he's the guy again, and he starts helping with these things. I could see Wallace asking him, hey, could you look at all of the blood spatter?
Since you came up with that theory.
Yeah. Could you look at all of the blood spatter for all of these of these crimes that have happened, and just whatever you see? I could see her asking him for help somehow. Maybe he ends up working with the station.
And that's what I had said. I was kind of joking when I said it a couple weeks ago, but I was like, well, for Dexter to fully be resurrected, he would need to be working in forensics again. So wouldn't it be funny or hilarious if we end the finale and he's like, NYPD forensics or something?
Yeah, and we're talking about Harrison's going into it, and the way he talks about Deb, it might be like, how in the original series, the whole time he's helping Deb, he's giving her clues because he knows what's going on, because he's already solved everything that takes them months to solve. He already knows what's happening, and he was always giving Deb clues. What if that's what's about to happen with Harrison?
Yeah,
because Harrison's gonna go into this, he's gonna come into law enforcement, and his dad is gonna be there to help him kind of climb the ranks by helping him solve cases.
Your killer, is this, did this, and they used this, and they, the way that he knows how to do stuff, which I think is just natural for him.
Yeah.
But I think that for Wallace, it's like she's been obsessed, almost lost her job over this, apparently.
Yeah.
Like fixated on this.
And for him
ever
to just...
since. And so when he gives that, help thing, I think, because that's her white whale.
Yeah. I think that,
She
like
might
you said,
override anything that Batista says because she is going to want to solve this case.
Yeah, and Dexter could probably help her. So we think maybe and who knows, maybe that's not going to happen, because the other theory, the whole thing with Jonah is so interesting though, because what if he becomes the big bad, and the next thing you know, Harrison and him are the ones that are kind of, Harrison's trying to find him, and it's kind of like
Hello,
Trinity and
Harrison Morgan or something weird.
It could happen.
You know?
It could happen. But
also, I had another crazy idea. Like, what if, because all the serial killers are getting picked off, like, because I do think, I haven't said this, but we do think that Prader knows who the New York Ripper is. He knows who it is.
Because he's got the weapon. How did he get that weapon?
And he will protect them.
And the thing, what if the New York Ripper is on his payroll, like all these other serial killers are, but he's in hiding right now because maybe Wallace was getting kind of too close to him, and so he decided to stop for a while just to, and maybe Prader he's on his payroll and he's hiding him and he knows who he is. Because again, we don't know the reality of Prader. We don't know the reality of what he knows. But I do know that he's
not going to out a serial killer.
Right. Yep.
Especially if he gave him that.
Yeah.
That the police
it's a
don't
trophy.
even have.
Yeah.
The New York police don't even have that, and he's been terrorizing the streets.
Yeah. So the whole Jonah thing is so interesting. Mm-hmm. But I do think if it's not Jonah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a brand new character that we don't know who it is, and
we'll see him in season 2, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
And we won't know who it is initially.
Yeah. So then Dexter, they leave. Dexter buys the hat. The whole thing with the girl.
It's really cute. He bought this like proud dad hat.
Yeah.
He's like, the first thing you're going to have to solve is the prices in that gift shop.
Yeah, the first crime.
This set me back $40.
Yeah, so then he gets home. He's doing the blood slide thing, which is so cool because it's the twins.
Oh, yeah. He gets the wine thing out, and he puts them together.
Yeah, on the same blood slide, which is super cool.
Which I don't know, it's like a nod to, I don't know. They're not going to know that happened, but they would probably want it that way if they knew.
Yeah, they are together. They end up together in the end. That is a thing. So, and then you hear this salsa
Cuban
music. Yeah, coming from upstairs. And Dexter's like, oh, this reminds me of
Miami.
And he's like, and then his face just drops.
Batista.
And
then because we didn't mention this. We forgot. Okay, so prior to, like, in the middle of all this, Batista is trying to kind of go back to Wallace and Oliva. And I could tell right now they're just kind of like, we have something we can do. Like, this is a waste of time, because you don't think it's weird that the camera is like turned off whenever Mia supposedly killed herself?
Yeah.
And he goes, and he's looking in his little, binder of thing. He keeps bringing out that damn, mugshot of Dexter.
Yeah.
And he puts it on her desk, and then she takes it and puts it back to him. Like, listen, we're going by the evidence. We're following what we know. And then Oliva is always the one that thinks everything is. I actually think Oliva might be on Prader's payroll. I actually think that.
Possibility.
Because I don't think he's because some people think that he's the New York Ripper. I don't think he is.
People just think everybody's the New York Ripper.
His voice doesn't seem to match that.
On,
it just
man.
Doesn't match it. But what does he say? He goes, oh, so you just think that this Dexter guy just came into the prison, he just got into the prison somehow, killed her, and then escaped?
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah,
which
it's
actually,
a stretch. That
didn't happen.
No,
I mean, that is, and I knew Batista was thinking that she's a serial killer, so she's dead, so Dexter did it, but he didn't actually do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but y'all are being played. You know, and he's a smart guy. He's gotten out of, he's evaded arrest for so many decades.
Yeah.
He believes, he's not wrong, but anyway, what does he say?
Driver's records or DMV.
Can I have your DMV records?
Yeah.
And that's because the whole, prior to this, I just forgot to say this, all these other episodes, I kept saying, Batista doesn't even know that Dexter's in New York. He has no idea that he's there. He went there on the Jim Lindsay truck, which was, linked to Harrison. So I was like, he doesn't even know that Dexter's there. Well, now he believes he's there, I think, because of this, the Ryan Foster and the Mia thing. And so he finds where he lives. He goes out there, and Blessing's out there just doing gardening work.
Yeah, he goes and talks to Blessing.
I hate this.
Befriends him.
Yeah, but he plays it off pretty well. I know what he's saying. I can read between the lines because we know what he's doing, but the way that Blessing's like, oh, it's so great to meet a friend of Dexter's from Miami.
I love Blessing, man.
Oh, he's very sweet.
He's just such a great guy. Great character.
He's like family to us,
Yeah.
And
yeah, he's like, yeah, he's
very good at that.
He's very good at that. He does that everywhere he goes, basically. So yeah, so I'm sorry, I didn't say that earlier.
I forgot about it too, though. So that's a setup for this. So yeah, we're downstairs. He's doing his blood slide thing, and then he hears that music, and he's like, Batista. After Wallace had said what she said, he goes up there, and Batista's up there like teaching Blessing how to salsa dance or something.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what did he say?
Surprise, hermano.
It's like his version of surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. And Dexter comes in, and he's just like, hey,
Angel.
And he hugs him, and you can just, man, Angel's face the whole time.
He goes, so I thought I'd catch you.
Yeah, I thought I'd catch you. Everything he's saying is so pointed like that. And the family's not really picking any of it up, but, they go through a little bit. I taught Dexter how to do that 30 years ago.
Yep, that was a different time.
That was a different time. And he's like, yeah, same dance. And so Dexter's like, hey, buddy,
it's getting late.
Why don't I give you a ride back to where you came from?
We can catch up in the car.
We can catch up in the car. And then, man, it goes to the car, and the looks on their faces.
Their faces drop.
Oh, man.
And it's the showdown that we've been waiting for since New Blood didn't do it.
Yep.
We've been waiting for this.
Yep. That's
because
right.
even at the hospital, he isn't saying anything like...
Yeah, no. He's still being elusive. He's still wondering about Dexter, and he's still kind of like trying to play him out, see what Dexter will say. But here now, he's 1,000% sure Dexter is the Bay Harbor killer or Bay Harbor butcher. And so, Dexter just flat out says,
I'm going to say this one time. Stay
away from me.
Stay away from me. Stay away from my family, which he's talking about.
And especially stay away from my son. And you
think I'm just going to drop this?
Yeah. And so...
Let you get away with what you did to Maria, Dokes, Deb?
Yeah.
He's like... You really don't want to get into this.
Yeah. And he said, and then Dexter stops the car, and he does that line. He says, if I am who you think that I am, this was not going to end well for you.
And then he's got that look on his face.
And the look that he has on his face, and
it's chilling.
and Batista's looking at him, and there's a moment where I think Batista is like, this is the first time that he's looking at the Bay Harbor Butcher. He's looking, this is the Bay Harbor Butcher, and...
He's like, I'll take my chances, hermano.
Yeah, and
he goes, this is where you get out.
Yeah, this is where you get out. He gets out, but he drops his AirPods into the side door, and he gets out of the car, and Dexter's driving off, and then you see the AirPods. It goes back to Batista. He pulls his phone out, and he's tracking him, and then the episode ends, and it's just like, man.
Well, there's a great song that's talking about it's going to be a showdown.
Yeah, it's going to be a showdown, and this is true. They are setting it up. We are about to see a showdown. I wonder if it's going to last, because we have 3 episodes left. Is this going to last through the last? Is the showdown going to continue all the way till the end of the last episode, or is it going to end in this next episode? I mean, I don't want Batista to die.
I don't either.
We don't want Batista to die, but we also don't want Dexter to get caught.
No,
so it's kind of a, it almost it's a catch-22.
It's really weird. I have this really weird thing about, like, he was coming over there and the 30 years ago, because if you watch Original Sin, you see that they really had a good friendship, and it started there so early. It's sad. It really makes me sad, but he's like, stay away from me, and I was just like, I don't know. It makes me sad.
It changed their
dynamic.
Their dynamic
totally
will never
different.
go back to what it was.
No.
It's over. Batista is on a mission. This is, like you said, his white whale.
It is.
Just like Wallace's is the New York Ripper. This is his, and Dexter's purpose is to get rid of these people. It's like, and so, but we don't want Batista to die. We don't want Dexter to kill him.
But then, what you said last night when I was saying that, you're like, but the show ain't called Batista.
That's true. I mean, it is true.
We can't have everybody gone from Miami Metro. I mean, we still have Masuka
I'm hoping there's a way
that
it comes down to it where Dexter maybe saves his life.
I think might be.
Kind of like he did with Dokes. Because, when Dexter saved Dokes' life, you thought, maybe there's a way that Dokes will respect Dexter for what he does. Because, Dokes was a killer. He killed a guy on duty. He killed guys and,
he killed bad guys also.
He killed bad guys also.
It wasn't good people
and I was thinking maybe, I remember before it all ended for Dokes, I was thinking, man, now that Dexter has saved his life, maybe Dokes can find a way to understand Dexter, and they can work it out to where he just leaves Dexter alone.
Well, he also hasn't told Dexter, or Dexter hasn't told him the truth. Like,
he didn't kill Deb. He didn't kill
Dokes, and I did not kill
Marta.
Yeah.
He now they all died kind of
inadvertently because of him.
Right, but he didn't personally kill them, and so it's kind of like one of those things where maybe there's a way that maybe he'll end up saving his life somehow, and he'll tell him, I didn't kill them. This happened and this happened. I was trying to blah blah. I don't know. It's probably a wish that won't come true, but I just don't want. We don't want Batista to die. So, and who knows what's about to happen, because the writing is just so damn good.
And I hate that this 30 years of friendship is like completely gone.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe they can salvage it. Like I said, if something like that happens, who knows? Maybe Batista will be able to somehow come to terms with this and just let it go and move on with his life. I don't know, but I hope something like that happens.
Like I told Toby, I haven't heard anybody say this as of yet, is that those AirPods are going to die at some point.
Yeah,
they're not going to be like forever linked. They're going to die in a day.
Yeah, they'll only last a couple, 2-3 days maybe.
Yeah,
and then they'll be dead. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. So it's gonna be okay. I can't wait to do the video about how she learned about Dexter and started watching Dexter. It's going to be such a fun video to talk about.
Let us know if you want to see that down below, and we'll put it up.
Yeah. We're going to do it either way, but...
Yeah, I guess we will. There's also some funny stuff about that we'll include in that actually includes meeting Dexter and Michael C. Hall in real life. Yeah. Which we got to do that again, because I didn't get to. We're gonna go into it, but I didn't get what I wanted. So we'll see though. She got what she wanted though. That's for sure. So, but we'll talk about that in the video. We'll talk about that in that video. Right. Let us know any of your theories about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
If you've been watching it. Anything.
Yeah. What do you think about our theories? Do you think we could be right, or do you think we're idiots? We'd love to know.
I don't want to know if somebody thinks I'm an idiot. Really.
I can take it. I don't care. I've been called a lot of stuff in my life, so I don't really care. But yeah, let us know what your theories are. That'd be great.
Yes,
I'm having fun doing videos with you like this.
Well, people like seeing you on here, with me. So we'll do it.
I'm having fun,
especially as long as Dexter's around. So.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll see you sometime next week.
Yep.
Have a very creepy night. Bye.